What's up, everybody? It's Chad here. This is going to be a lab. I hope this helps you. I created this lab as the purpose of training to hopefully help you in your CCNA journey with Cisco. This is going to be an EIGRP lab, so hopefully this will help you learn a bit more about EIGRP. So let's jump right into it. First of all, my name is Chad. As I said before, I'm a CCNA in routing and switching. I'm currently studying for the CCNP in routing and switching. And without further ado, let's get into the lab. It says here our customer has requested us to set up a dynamic routing protocol. They're wanting to be able to route information between their branches. However, they don't want VLANs 30 advertised from their Florida branch to Arizona. Configure the devices to advertise VLANs 20 and 10, excluding VLAN 30 for Florida only. Configure EIGRP on both the Florida and Arizona routers. So first of all, let's take a note of what we have to do here. So what we're setting up here is VLANs 20, VLANs 10, and VLAN 30 to route across our Florida and Arizona router. However, we don't want VLAN 30 to be able to route over our Florida router into our Arizona router. So that's not too hard to set up. Before we get into it, let's discuss what we actually need here. And it's very important while we're setting this up to look at our topology, but also let's take into consideration what needs to be done to configure EIGRP. To get an EIGRP neighbor relationship, we have to make sure that our autonomous system numbers match. We have to make sure that our K values match. And we have to make sure our mask matches. That's relative. Also, hello and dead timers are usually relative, but as long as these three right here are all set up to match, we should be able to get a neighbor relationship to form. Perfect. So let's see here. Let's take a look at our topology. It looks like we have a Arizona router here, a Florida router here. Let's go ahead and jump on our Florida router just to see what we got going on here. Let's see if there's any routing protocols already set up. So we're going to do show IP protocols, and nothing's there. Let's check out the Arizona router. I can see there's some activity going on here. Let's do show IP protocols. And also, no routing protocols are set up there either. So let's jump on the Florida router and let's do show IP interface brief just to see what we have here. It looks like we have a jumbled up mess here with stuff colliding, so let's bring this over a little bit to see if that helps. No. Okay, anyway, it looks like we have a .10, a .20, and a .30. These are virtual router interfaces, and then it looks like we've got gigabit 0/0/0, and it looks like that is connecting off to our Arizona router. Perfect. Let's see. Let's try pinging across that link and see. But first of all, let's do a show CDP neighbor. And it looks like this 0/0 is connecting off to the other ISR, and these other interfaces are also connecting back to this one. So that looks great. Let's try pinging across that link just to be sure that that link is up. So it was 192.168.1.2. Let's see, let's assume the other side is .1. We would be able to check that, of course, if we come over here and do a show IP interface brief. And it is a .1. So let's go ahead and try pinging across our WAN connection here. And of course the first one failed, but then after that we have success. If we hit the up arrow and do an enter again, perfect. So we are able to reach across. So let's look back at our objective just one more time. So let's verify our interfaces are correctly running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a show interface, and let's do gig 0/0/0, and let's do a .20. Okay, and that seems to be working fine. And we can see here, if we look from that command, we see the encapsulation, the 802.1q is VLAN 20. So we're going to assume that this is correctly set up. And let's go ahead and start configuring Eigrp to form its relationship. So we're going to go to Configure Terminal, and the first thing we're going to do is type in router, and then let's hit the question mark and see what we have here. So we can do BGP, Eigrp, OSPF, and RIP, and we wanted to configure Eigrp, so let's do that. Then it's going to ask us for a number between 1 and 65,535 for our autonomous system number. Now again, please be careful here. You have to set this up to match on the other side. So we're going to choose autonomous system number 30. Perfect. Once we get here, let's hit the question mark. So we have a lot of stuff that we can set up here. So we can do neighbors, so we can statically assign where the neighbor is going to be at. We can do passive interfaces, variants, a couple other things we're not going to get into this video. Simply put here, what we're going to do is just do a network command because we want to be able to specify what we're advertising. And then here we are, it's asking for us to enter a network number. Now, first of all, with Eigrp, we can, just like RIP, we can enter 10.0.0.0, and that will advertise all of the 10 routes out through the interfaces. So any interface that's enabled with 10, it will advertise that network out and enable Eigrp for that specific interface. But if you notice here, just like with OSPF, we can use wildcard bits. So if you want to get specific, we can do that as well. So for this particular instance, I'm just going to do network 10.0.0.0.0. And another thing that I want to make you aware of is auto summarization. So Eigrp can do an auto summary, and in some cases that may be useful, but you can form a discontinuous network, and that's not something we'd like to do in this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off auto summary. So we're going to do no auto summary, and we're going to hit enter, and that's it. So let's hit the exit, and let's go all the way back, and let's do show IP protocols again. Now we have a little bit more information here, but let's look at what's actually useful here. You can see we're routing for 30, and that's our autonomous system number, you can see our variance is set to 1. And our weight values, so our K values, are all set there. And then we're routing for networks in the 10 range, and all of that else looks good. One more thing to note here, the last thing would be automatic network summarization is not in effect, so we turn that off, which is what we're looking to do. So let's jump over to our Arizona router, and we can see all of our interfaces are up here. However, over here we have a little bit of different case. We're not advertising the 10 range, we're advertising networks in the 172. So over here we're going to do a configure terminal also, and what has to match with Eigrp? Our autonomous system number. We want to make sure that's set to 30 also. First off, I'm going to start off with no auto summary, and then I want to advertise my networks. Now, I'm going to do this one a little different. So instead of advertising for that entire class of IPs with 172.16.0.0, I want to be more specific. So here I want to advertise 10.1, and then I want to enable it specifically for that interface with that command. I'm going to hit the up arrow, and I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to change it to a 20, and then one more, we're going to do 30, and that's it. Now if we actually go all the way back and we do show IP Eigrp neighbors and we hit enter, you'll see that we're not we're running a Eigrp neighbor for process 30, and you'll see that nothing actually shows up. So why is that? So let's figure that out. Let's do show IP protocols, and here you can see we're doing a /32 for these networks, so meaning we have to match for that specific interface. And if you'll notice, I don't have it enabled for our interface pointing to our Florida branch. So let's do that. So let's go back under Configure Terminal. Let's go with router Eigrp 30, and let's do network 192.168.1.1, and let's do all zeros there again, and let's hit exit, and let's do show IP protocols again. And now we have the connection over to the Florida offices there. So let's go back to Florida's office. And real quick, before I go any further, let's check show IP protocols. So what's going on here, if I were to enable this now with my current setup, with this particular network command enabled, it's going to advertise every single route that I have set up over to our Arizona router, and that's not what we were looking to do. So let's go back and fix that real quick. So let's do router Eigrp 30. And let's do no network, and we're going to do 10. Let's take that command off, and let's go back and enable it for our other routes. So we'll do 10.20.20.1, and we'll do the same thing for our 10, and we're going to leave 30 out of it. And the last command we're going to enter here is network, and then we're going to do our connection to the Arizona, which was 1.2. And we'll make all that there, and boom, if we look at our output here, it says a neighbor change status in the autonomous system 30, and we formed a neighbor relationship with an IP of 192.168.1.1, and that connection's coming in through gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. I may have said that one too many times, but let's go check this out. So we're going to do Control Z, and let's do show IP Eigrp neighbors. And what do you know? We have a neighbor relationship formed with the Arizona router. Let's do a show IP. Let's do show IP route. If we look at this output, you can see we have a couple of routes injected in here from Eigrp, with an administrative distance of 90 and a feasible distance of 28416, and same for these 28416, and we're learning it from this IP, which of course is our Arizona router here. So let's just try pinging a few things, but before we do that, let's go check and see what Arizona's seeing. Let's make sure that route didn't show up for VLAN 30. And it looks like we've got VLAN 10 and 20, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So let's try pinging across this link. Let's do ping, let's do 10 dot, let's do the 10, VLAN 10, and that was a success. And let's try pinging the 20 VLAN. That was also a success. And let's try for Florida. Let's try pinging across this connection. Let's try 172.1.6. Let's do 10. That was a success. And let's try 20. That was a success. And now for our final test. We know this isn't going to work because it's not in our routing table. But let's try pinging VLAN 30. And that, of course, is going to fail, which is what we wanted. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. So what we did was we set up Eigrp between our Florida and our Arizona router. We confirmed by pinging across that VLANs 20 and 10 are accessible from both sides, and VLAN 30 is not accessible from our Florida offices, which is what we were looking for. We configured Eigrp in Autonomous System 30. We verified that everything matched on both sides by checking that the neighbor relationship was formed. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope this maybe helped you clarify some things with the Eigrp, or this is just hopefully a lab that you can follow along with. I'll put down in the description below the packet tracer files to make sure that you can be able to do this lab also. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.